Oh my god! Quade Cooper! I'm real. What happened? Oh my god! Never in my life did I ever thought I was gonna say Quade Cooper is the number 158 for Australia in 2021. Oh my god! Oh my god! How did this happen? How did this happen? Quade Cooper, he's so good! He's so good! Oh my god! Oh my god! Thought I was gonna pass out! Oh my god! He's so good! Oh, he's back! He's back, baby! He's back! My boy is back, baby! Oh my god! I could not believe how good he was! Oh my god! There's no way Australia deserved to win that game! No way! Without Quade, 100% would have lost that one without Quade. No way we could have won that. South Africa dominated every aspect on the game. And then Quade Cooper kept us in with his kicking, with his goal kicking, 100% goal kicking, anywhere inside your 50. There were goal kicks where I was like, nah, Quade has never kicked a goal from there before. Nah, just slots it in with confidence, with ease. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's no way. Okay. Just to like recap the last 5 minutes, I've been screaming my head off. Okay. So last 5 minutes, South Africa was like in the front foot. Australia was ahead by 4 points. And basically with Quade's keeping us in front. And South Africa like set up a more, finally, just like more, like completely dominating us with their extra forward, with their fresh forwards off the bench. They set up a more 5-meter line out, repeated penalty against Australia. South Africa scores a try with a maul with about 5 minutes left on the clock, okay? Now imagine this. So first up, for some reason, I think Handré Pollard might have been injured because Damian Willemse normally plays at 15, is subbed on for Handré Pollard at 10. I did not expect that. Handré Pollard's kicking has been really off as well this game, so really unlucky for South Africa. There was like one really easy kick about Handré Pollard where he hit the post, and like he just like that's very uncharacteristic by Handré. Especially a kick like that, that's really too easy for him to miss. So Willemse came on, Damian Willemse came on for him in like the last 15 minutes. So this was a really easy kick. Like 15 meters in from the sideline, 22 meters out, not a difficult kick. And Willemse completely skews it. And leaving the Springboks only 1 point behind with 5 minutes to go. So Australia somehow recovers the ball from the kickoff and then started attacking, right? There was like literally just building phases, run into a brick wall. They ran into a brick wall for about 3 minutes. Eventually, Michael Hooper gets the ball in the wing. He slips through tackle from Fat de Klerk. And he runs down the sideline, and it looks like Australia's going to make a break here. And then he had like 2 players outside. Damian Willemse comes in to cover him. To cover, like, there was basically Willemse sweeping around. He had to cover 2 players on this outside. So Hooper draws one of the defenders, throws a pass to Hodge. Hodge looks like he was free. Damian Willemse hits Hodge. Hodge wasn't free, but Hodge had one more player outside that was free. Hits Hodge so hard, dislodges the ball. Knock on to Australia inside South Africa's 40. Okay? Oh man, I thought I was over. Because the South Africa had a scrum. 2 minutes left on the clock, right? And the South African scrum was huge in the second half. The Tongan Thor got absolutely dominated all game. And this no different this one. The South Africa was going forward. It looked like it was going to be a penalty against Australia. And Malcolm Marx pops his head out. And the referee, that could have been a penalty against South Africa for that. Even though South Africa was going forward. And the referee thought, nah, reset. You popped your head out. So South Africa almost had a scrum penalty right there. And then the second time, the reset, there wasn't nearly as strong of a push. So there was no penalty. So Tonga Thor held on, no penalty. So South Africa gets the ball out. After a few like scrambling play, they kick the ball downfield. Okay, big clearance kick from downfield. Reece Hodge, get this. Reece Hodge gets the ball just outside the Wallabies 22. He runs up. The whole crowd is going, oh! And I don't know if the crowd played into his head. Because at this point, there's a minute and a half left. There's a minute left in the, like a minute, just around a minute left on the clock. And like, Springboks are coming up slower, so with his kick. So he had like a lot of space to work with. He gets himself to the halfway point. He looked like he wanted to go for a drop goal. And then he realized, wait, this is too far. It's 50 meters out. I'm not going to get it. But then he's already like in the position to kick the ball. So he just put a high ball up instead. And then the whole crowd was going, oh. And then he puts a high ball up. And I was screaming. I was like, oh my God. What did he do? He just kicked the ball away with a minute left on the clock. So he kicks the ball up. One of his teammates chases the ball, tries to challenge it, knocks on. And this was in the Springboks half. And this was like not like a long high ball. He kicked from halfway to the 40-meter line. So this was just only gained 10 meters. Wallabies knocked on. Springboks scrum with 30 seconds left. Okay. And oh my God, I was like, this is over. Another scrum. Like Springboks scrum has been dominating. And this is a scrum 40 meters out. 45. This was 40 meters out. About 10 meters in from the sideline on a bit of an angle, a scrum there. I was like, oh man. Lucky if Springboks, it'll be lucky if Springboks don't get a penalty out of this scrum. I was like, please, Tongan Thor, this has to be the biggest scrum of your life. Please, just do something. And sure enough, the Tongan Thor stepped up. Oh my God. Just skewered the Springbok scrum. Turned the scrum out like the biggest scrum the Tongan Thor has done the whole season. And he just like completely stepped up, tightened up the play, turns the scrum around. The Springbok scrum gets like, basically gets like split into like, just gets like skewered into like a little, what do you call it? One of those, pretzels gets turned into a little pretzel. The ball squirts out the side, and Nick White almost gets it. Jasper Visa sees the ball pop out, jumps onto it. Nick White gets on the Visa, grabs onto him, and the Springboks tries to clear him out. Not holding on, penalty. Oh my God. And then this time the clock is going red. 80 minutes. Wallabies has one chance to score a point, okay? Now, at this point, I was like, okay, Quaid kicking has me 100%. But this is by far so he had another kick that was in the same distance, but like a little bit closer infield. So instead of being it's basically exactly the same spot. Like 40 meters out on the angle. I got this kick about 20 minutes ago. So for some reason, okay, at this point, there's a big discussion amongst the Wallabies, right? So who's gonna kick this? Is Hodge gonna kick this, or is Quaid gonna kick this? So like the team manager runs on with 2 T's, one for Hodge, one for Quaid. And I was like, dude, at this point, you're probably just psyching out both players. And Hodge is like walking over, like, I was like, oh no, this is not looking good. Like, you're just literally like psyching out your own players, like giving no confidence for either player to take the kick. But Quaid is just like, nah, I'll take it. Hodge was like walking over, and I was like, oh, he doesn't look really confident. Quaid just like, nah, okay, I'll take it. Puts the ball down, puts it on his tee. I was like, oh boy. Quaid has never been known to be a good kicker, by the way. His kicking has been sublime this game. And he kicked the one at the exact same spot, and the commentators was like psyching him out. The commentators like, oh yeah, you have to wonder, he kicked one from this position 20 minutes ago. The fatigue could have kicked in. Is this still got the legs? Has he still got the legs to kick this? I was like, shut up, Andrew Merton. Don't talk about that. He's not tired. Shut up, he's a professional rugby player. He doesn't get tired. Don't talk about that. So like Merton was talking about he's getting tired. I was just like, oh my God, is he gonna get this? Oh, Quaid. Here's the Iceman. He looked so calm. I was freaking out watching this. He was not freaking out. Looked up. He didn't even take that long. Not like CEO takes like 5 minutes to take a kick. He looked up, took his step back, pops the ball beautifully. Like the sound is just like just that you hear that beautiful crisp popping of the ball off the boot. It's like it's like boom, boom, and the ball just sailed straight down the middle of the goalposts. Okay. Oh my God. I was screaming my head off. I could not believe Quay Cooper kicked that. I could not believe what I just saw. And I could not believe Australia just beat the world champions. I could not believe it. Oh my god. Like, if you look at this, South Africa scored 3 tries. 2 more tries. Like, absolutely dominating Australia. Every aspect. Kicking game, dominating Australia everywhere. The only, like, shining light from Australia was Karevi. Whenever he runs, he's just breaking the line. He's the only one who's able to get over the boundary line, basically. And Michael Hooper, his work rate is, like, through the roof. He's through the roof. Okay? And the referee, so much stuff to talk about. The referee this game was handing out yellow cards left and right like it's business cards. Like, everybody's getting a yellow card. You get 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 a card. So, like, I think Vili Leroux got a yellow card for accidental, knock on, for deliberate knock on. The worst one tonight was with, what's his name? Faianga, where he, like, made a low tackle. He, like, basically dove to the ground to take out someone's legs without his arms. But it's like, it wasn't really that dangerous, to be really frank. Yes, he was no arms, but he kind of like hit him on his back. He didn't like hit him on his shoulder. He like hit him, he like turned his back to, like, he basically like tripped him. Like, you know, he basically went to the ground and tripped him with his back. But the referee said I was dangerous. Yellow card for that. I was really, really like soft. I think it was another yellow card. Oh, there was another yellow card for Sia Khaleesi for spear tackling Tom Banks. So 4 yellow cards in this game. And, oh my god, there was just, man, I could not believe Australia won this game, to be honest. Quay Cooper, oh my god, he's back, baby. Oh my god, we can take him to the World Cup, baby. We can take him to the World Cup, and he can finally fulfill the prophecy. The prophecy, Quay Cooper, James O'Connor, the chosen ones from 2006. He's gonna take us to the World Cup and finally win it for us. He's finally gonna do it. He's finally gonna fulfill his destiny. He's gonna fulfill the prophecy. Oh my god. Oh, I can't believe this. I actually can't believe this. I actually can't believe Quay Cooper won the game against the Springboks, the world champions for Australia. Oh my god. So there was no, like, Australia had no business in winning this game. The Springboks were dominating, but the Australians did have really good defense. That is one huge improvement from previous weeks against the All Blacks. Like, the defense was sublime, and the kicking game has improved a lot as well. So at the start, the Springboks kicking game was just like way too good against the Wallabies. Looked like the Springboks were gonna dominate. I was like, oh, it looks like it's gonna be an easy win for the Springboks. But the Wallabies kicking game picked up as well, especially in the second half when Nick White came on. He got the first 50-22 for Australia with a box kick. Oh, that was amazing. Really good. I don't know, amazing. I don't know what else to say. This was, like, one of the best games I've ever seen the Wallabies play. Like, it's like a new, different team on the field. Everybody knows how to tackle. The running game has been good. Andrew Callaway, the freak. The best. Like, I have completely underestimated Callaway again. He scores the only try for the Wallabies, and it was just, oh my god, this was, whew. So there was a big change for the Wallabies jersey as well. They put the indigenous like colors into the number. Looked really cool. Something that South Africa tried to do for the World Cup, not with the indigenous, with like people, like their supporters' faces printed on the numbers. But Wallabies had the indigenous like pattern. Oh, that looks so good. That looks better than the indigenous jersey, to be honest. It's good to just wear, like, instead of wearing like a green jersey where you look like you're away, just wear the indigenous number. That just looks so good, actually. I really like that. I prefer that over the actual indigenous jersey. So just the green and gold, like as it should be. Breathe. 100 Polar missed a couple kicks. That is a bit of a bummer for the Springboks. Oh man, okay. I don't know. Let's just look at match stats. Let's just have a look at match stats. Run meters. Like, nobody want to run the ball. We saw All Blacks doing 700 run meters in the... Is this right? 144 run meters? This can't be right. Really? No way. The All Blacks ran like 700 run meters against the Argentinians, and Argentina ran like almost 250 run meters. There's only 210 for the Wallabies and 144 for the South Africa. This is just like sublime defense for both teams, I think. Yeah, like the perfect defense for both teams. 21 defenders beaten for Wallabies. A little bit more than what South Africa used to, but still couldn't really gain that much territory from that. Turnover conceded for both teams 10 times each. 120 tackles, 21 missed tackles. Oh, that looks good. 83 tackles and 4 missed tackles. That is the best defense the Wallabies has ever fronted up. Ever. Like, I have never seen these numbers for like many years now. That is like that's like what, 7% missed tackles? That is so good. I have never seen like Wallabies dip below double digits before. Like, that is sublime defense from the Wallabies. Oh my god. Oh, did you guys notice? They used CGI for the ads on the ground. So the ground has no ads, but on TV they had all the South African ads. And I was wondering how they're gonna do this, because the All Blacks, when they played the Pumas, they had the All Blacks ads on the ground, and then this game they had the South African ads on the ground, so they had CGI on the ground. The CGI looks like really, really good. Like, it didn't look like, it was just perfect CGI. Like, you couldn't even tell that it was not printed on the ground, it was CGI'd. But there was nothing on the ground. Like, all the ads on the ground were just CGI'd. So some of the camera angles, like on the ground level, that doesn't have the CGI, you can see that the ground is clean. Like the far camera on top, I think there's maybe 2 cameras where whenever they'll see the CGI on the ground when he pans around. It's like perfect CGI. You can't even tell that it is actually CGI'd. Like, yeah, really, really well done. And kicks in play, 38 kicks for the Springboks. Again, very heavily kicked game for the Springboks. 21 for the Wallabies. Try to play more of a running game and really just running a brick wall. But overall, it's a kicking off the team. 2 conversion missed by the Springboks. 2 penalty kick by Andre Pollard, including one that ricocheted off, I think that was a try that was ricocheted off a goalpost. Valemsa missed one. So yeah. Breathe, man, breathe. Lineouts, 1 loss each, but the Springboks lineout has been putting a lot of pressure on the Wallabies. But yeah, scrums, 1 penalty for each side, but the Springbok line scrums has just really dominated Australia in the second half. Only 1 loss for the Wallabies, but the Wallabies had been penalised a number of times in the scrums in the second half. So wow, that's like that last scrum where Tongan Thor stepped up, that was impressive. I did not expect that. I thought if we can just get that ball out, if we can just try to disrupt the ball as he comes out of the ruck, get Nick White to jump, maybe make a quick tackle, that would have been good. But to just like skewer the scrum and just completely disrupt it, and then get Nick White an opportunity to turn the ball over for a penalty, that was so good. So good. 11 penalties conceded for the Springboks, 2 yellow cards. 17 conceded for the Wallabies, 2 yellow cards as well. So yeah, Springboks definitely dominated the Wallabies in just about every aspect, except for the kicking, except for the goal kicking. Whew. This was like insane. Angus Bell had a really good run in the first half against Malherbe in the scrum, but in the second half, like, oh my god. I think Nyake came on and just did a number on who was it? Nyake that was in the second half. Not Oxenich and Vincent Koch came on and just did a number on Tongan Thor and Jem Sleeper. But yeah, so good to see that things actually worked out. Robert Leota once again came off the bench, really, really good. And Samu Kuremi, so good, boy. Isaac Rodda, he actually came off the bench this game. So Matt Phillip I think he actually came off the bench. I'm pretty sure he came off the bench. I don't remember him being he was he come off the bench? I'm not too sure. But anyway, who cares? Oh my god, I'm just I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Okay, let's just get through the game and let's just go break down on what actually happened, okay? So right from the start, the Springboks kicking game really showed. 5 minutes in, it was really obvious they were happy to kick the ball left and right, like keeping the players chasing left and right for the Wallabies. Eventually, the Springboks got the ball back inside the Wallabies half, just around the 40-meter line. Faf de Klerk kicks the ball down inside the Wallabies 22 for a 5-meter Wallaby defensive line out. So that was really, really, really like obvious. The kicking game was just get that territory, get that like pressure applied to the Wallabies. So like the first 5 minutes, the South African kicking game was like sublime, and it was like really outclassing Australia, like left and right. And then so the Australia did a 5-meter line out. Matake Maduma threw a poor pass. The ball rolls on the ground. The Australia did manage to clean it up, but they get tackled, and the Springboks flood the breakdown. Penalty Australia right in front. 100 Pollard kicks the 3. So right off the bat, 5 minutes in, it was just like, yeah, that kicking game from the South Africans was just like overwhelming Australia straight off the bat. But straight from the kickoff, Australia did a really deep kickoff, and then South Africa tried to kick the ball out, and it was returned, kicked to about the 40-meter line. So Wallabies started running the ball, more happy to run the ball inside the South African half instead of just kicking for territory. So this is a big difference in strategy. So South Africa will kick from 40 meter to try to pin you down in your 20, but the Wallabies happy to run this, and sure enough, the pressure piled on. Springboks got penalised, and this was a 40-meter out kick right in front. So this was the first kick for the Quade Cooper. So Cooper has never known to be the best kicker for the Wallabies, and I was like, I wonder if he's still in form. And this was a pretty far kick. He slots it nice and clean. 3 points to 3. 7 minutes into the game. 3 minutes later, on the 10th minute, there was a huge big scrum for the Wallabies. Again, inside the Springboks half, just outside the Springboks 22. So again, from kicking, there was a knock on as a result of kicking. And Angus Bell just did a massive number on Mount Herbe. A loose head penalty. And Wallabies gets another kick just outside the 22, straight in front again. And Quade Cooper slots another one. 6 points to 3. Okay. And right from the kickoff, so right from the kickoff, the Wallabies received the ball, started running the ball out. Tom Banks runs up to Sia Khaleesi, gets Sia Khaleesi, tackles Tom Banks, lifts him up like off his feet, and power tackles him. And power drives him, and he could have been a red card, to be honest. Tom Banks, as he was falling down, he posted on his hand, so he didn't land on his head. If Tom Banks just landed on his head without posting, that would have been a red card. Sia Khaleesi gets yellow carded. Really, really lucky there. And then Wallabies kicks the ball out for a 35-meter line out, and Samu Kerevi, man. The play comes in. Samu Kerevi ran from the blind side, it looked like. Goes around the rock. He runs into the 10 channel and runs straight through. Okay? And then he gets tackled like just inside the Springboks 22. Kerevi, every time he runs the ball, man, it's just such a huge, difficult for like anyone to handle. The Springboks were not able to pretty much impenetrable, except when Kerevi gets the ball. Like, he just gets over the advantage line every time. So he gets over the advantage line, gets inside the 22. A few phases later, Samu Kerevi runs through another gap again, out wide, and then he gets, as he like the fullback comes up to tackle him, he sees Callaway out wide on the wing, throws to the pass to Callaway. Callaway gets the ball in the wing, runs in for the Wallabies' first try. That was so good. I could not believe the Wallabies could even breach. I honestly did not expect Wallabies to score any tries at all, because the Springboks defense has been really good. But Samu Kerevi, man, just showed like hard running game. He's so good. Just breaks through your defense anyway, regardless how good you are. And Callaway gets the first try. Quade slots this one in quite easily once again on a bit of an angle. 6 points to 13 to the Wallabies. 16 minutes in. A few minutes later, on the 22nd minute, Thor Mullen, Dwan Vermeulen, the Thor, he gets a penalty on the breakdown for the Springboks. 46 meters out, a bit of an angle. 100 Pollard normally kicks this one, but he missed. So this is when you're 100 Pollard is a pretty good kicker. So he's like today, it's been probably one of his worst performances for a while now. During the Lions Tour series, he also had issues, but his issues usually came in the second half. So he was, in the Lions Tour, he was like 100%. And then in the second half, maybe when he gets tired, he starts to miss. But this was like a fresh kick in 22 minutes in. He already missed this one. So a bit of a kicking issue for him. Jaco Johan's not going to be happy about that. 3 minutes later, the boss gets another penalty at the breakdown. And then they kick that for a 22-minute line out. Another penalty for Wallabies for jumping early. And then the Springboks tries again for a line out. So they go for a 5-meter line out as Siab Khaleesi is coming back onto the field on the 25th minute mark, right? So the line out comes in. They set up for another penalty for the Wallabies against the Wallabies for collapsing the maul illegally. Faf de Klerk gets the ball out. Grubber kicks the ball behind. And there was like a lot of scramble. Damien Delende looks like he's going to get the ball. But the ball bounced in a weird angle. Nick White kind of like interrupted him. And then Lukam Yuan was just like that and catches the ball. Looked like it was surely a try. He catches the ball in his chest. And all he had to do is fall down. As he's falling, the ball fell out of his hands. No try. But the Springboks had a penalty advantage. So they get another shot, another go. So they kick the ball out for another 5-meter line out. And once again, the maul is just way too good. Wallabies was just like getting pushed back. And Matt Phillip collapses the maul illegally just as before the line. Yellow card. Yeah, so second time he collapses the maul to try to stop a try. Yellow card. And then finally, with one man in the bin, the Springbok goes for another 5-meter line out, another more, and this time with one person missing. Matt Phillip is a pretty big part of the Wallabies second row. So eventually they more Wallabies behind. Bungnabi gets the ball at the back, dives over for the try with a bit of help from Faf de Klerk. 5 points, and then this was a very kickable. This was 15 meters in from the sideline. And 100 Pollard misses again. Yeah, so 11 points to 13. Springboks still 2 points behind. On the 31st minute, South Africa offside. So Wallabies kicks the ball out for a 10-meter line out. Wallabies gets the ball down with one play in the bin, so they can't really do much for a maul. They fake the maul. Ball comes out quickly. Corin Betty run a nice angle, just crashes through. But he didn't really get anywhere. Really hard running from him. But the Springboks got penalised for offside again. And then a few phases later, the Wallabies weren't able to capitalise on the advantage. So they go back for a penalty. Right in front, right in the middle. Quade Cooper, too easy for Quade. Slots another 3. Wallabies keeps themselves ahead. 16 points to 11. And then there was a couple of big shots from Swinton coming up for the next period of play. All the way to on the 38th minute mark, Michael Hooper. I think he's probably the best number 7 in the world now. He's just amazing. The amount of work rate he's put into the game and the amount of just be able to spot gaps around the field, just amazing. Mike Hooper is by far the best number 7 in the world right now. He finds a gap around the ruck, which I did not expect. And he slipped through and he gets inside the box 22. And the Wallabies just piled on faces after this run. 12 faces later, Alan Alatua gets knocked on. No penalties. So this was looking like the Springboks defense was just spectacularly solid. So this was just outside the Springboks 22, going for a scrum, right? Angus Bell steps out his game once again. Another penalty scrum by Angus Bell in the loose head position. Wallabies right in front, takes another 3 points. Very, very impressive Angus Bell. By far the best loose head prop in Australia. Amazing. He earned his starting position. Quay slots this one. 11 points to 19, just going to half-time. So, Wallabies lead half-time for the first time in the season. 11 points to 19. I was just sweating my balls off at halftime. I could not believe Wallabies were actually leading at this point. But yeah, really, really good. Angus Bell, 6 points earned just by him. Unbelievable performance. Second half starts 42 minutes into the game. There was another penalty, but this time was against Australia. This was a bit hard done, to be honest. I thought this was another penalty for Angus Bell because Malherbe looked clearly he slipped and he flattened down. But the referee, and Angus Bell went down like this, and Malherbe slipped and it went flat. That should have been a penalty against Malherbe, but the referee saw it differently, penalized Angus Bell for that. And then this was just inside the Wallabies, just outside the Wallabies 22, really, really easy kick. Pretty much like align with the post, right? Like, so on tiny bit of angle, align with the post, 100 polar kicks, hits the post. And I've written here, ha 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 ha. I actually laughed. I was so loud when this missed. I was just like laughing, literally laughing my head off. I could not believe he hit the post here. Another 3-point was missed by 100 Pollard. 3 minutes later, 3 minutes later, once again, there was a bit of, so again, this is another bad refereeing by the ref. The referee has been pretty good, but this was another bad call for the referee. So this was around the halfway point. So Faf de Klerk, so there was like a rock, right? Faf de Klerk puts his hand on the ball, and the referee says, "Ball's out!" And then the Wallabies players runs around, tackles Faf, and then the referee penalizes the Wallabies. And everyone's just like, "What the hell, man? You just said ball's out. Why did you penalize us for?" And the referee says, "You tackled a player without a ball." Hello? You said ball's out precisely because Faf had his hands on the ball. And then how could it be tackled without a ball? Like, this was just bizarre from the referee. So, and this was quite a big turning point as well. So, the Books kicks the ball out for a 22-meter line out, set up for a more. And Quay Cooper makes a tackle, and he got caught on the wrong side of the rack, gets penalized for not rolling away. Despite Hooper in the rack getting the turnover, it looked like Hooper turned the ball over, but the referee penalized Cooper being on the wrong side of the rack, slowing the ball down. So yeah, Hooper looked like he was doing a really, really good job, and this was a really kickable point just outside of 22. And finally, 100 Pollard gets this one, pulls the Box back 3 points. So 14 points to 16, back within 2 points reach. So there was once again. The game played on for a few more minutes. On the 49th minute, Nick White gets on the field. He's just fresh on the field. Wallabies had a breakdown just on halfway. Nick White fakes a box kick, and he kicks a 50-22. The first 50-22 international rugby. From the halfway, he just kicks it down, flat ball, straight out inside the 22. 50-22, Wallabies gets the ball back for a line out. So the Wallabies were attacking, looking quite dangerous. There was some really, really good hard running, and some really, really good attacking. So Wallabies building faces, and Nick White, right, just running around. He gets the ball. He looks up to the open side. He sees Callaway right out in the open with Len Ikitau. Despite the fact that there was like 5 plays between him and Len Ikitau. He throws this massive looping pass. I was like, oh my God, please don't get intercepted. Please don't get intercepted. Please don't get intercepted. And sure enough, it was close. Didn't get intercepted. Callaway gets the ball, but he just gets tackled right away. Nick runs across, picks the ball up. He had Len Ikitau out wide. He runs up, throws the pass to Ikitau. Vidi Leroux comes up to tackle, deliberately knocks on the ball. And the referee, yellow card. So Wallabies had this opportunity for a yellow card. Oh, by the way, leading into this, Wallabies had a penalty advantage for offside right in front. So now they had 2 penalties back to back, and the referees gave Vidi Leroux a yellow card, and Wallabies goes, all right, we'll take the penalty. That was closer. So another penalty right in the middle for offside. Despite the yellow card, the Wallabies were able to kick that get a kick right in front. Another 3 points on the board for Wallabies, just putting slight ahead. Again, you can see that the defense on the Springboks is just getting really overwhelming. Wallabies not able to really make the break to score any points from this. So 14 points to 22. And so a couple of minutes later, Hooper is at it again in his headgear, and he's turning the ball over on the breakdown, left and right. So Michael Hooper, I can't believe he actually improved this year from last year. Every game he's playing, he seems to be getting better. Even against the All Blacks, he did really, really, really well. So a few minutes later, the commentators were actually talking about this. Fainga'a has been doing these tackles where he kind of instead of tackling someone, he kind of just dive himself onto someone's legs and just trip them with his shoulder. So the commentators were actually saying Fainga'a doing all these tackles, no arm tackles, trips, kind of dangerous. Sure enough, on 57th minute, Fainga'a did that again. He ran in. Wasn't yellow card worthy, I don't think. Because he kind of went in. He's almost you've probably seen this before. Someone gets on their knees and then another person pushes another guy and then they get tripped over because the guy on the ground on the knee. Kind of like that. He just runs in, forces himself to dives down to the ground and just trips someone basically with his body. Not really like smashing into someone's knee or something. He just goes to the ground and trips someone like that. So that's basically what happened. He hit them with his back. In fact, not even on his shoulder. He makes connection onto the player's legs with his back, like, you know, all the way up his back, right? But yeah, the referee says that's too dangerous. Yellow card. This was a really, really poor yellow card. And all the box, all the Springboks players were like singing. It sounded like it was like ole, 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 ole. But it sounded like after this, it sounded like they were singing ole, 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 ole. Bullshit, because of the yellow card. I thought that's what it sounded like, but maybe not. Like it's a Springbok. It's a South African thing that the Springbok fans were singing it, I think. But it sounded like to me they were saying bullshit. Like that was like you guys can tell me if that's what they're actually singing. Because later on they were singing that again, but it didn't sound like they were singing. They were saying bullshit later on, but at that point, it sounded like they were saying bullshit. But anyway, so he gets a yellow card, and now it's looking really bad. Let me see. So the Springboks obviously takes the opportunity, kick the ball out for a 5-meter line out, sets up the more, and just with one play advantage again. Morse over. Malcolm Marx is there, gets the perfect score for the try. 21-22. Springboks hits right back. And they get the conversion this one. So Springboks pulls ahead by 23 points to... Springbok gets the conversion for this one, 21 points to 22. So just 2 points behind, right? So on the 60th minute, the Wallabies were on the attack again, just inside the Springboks. Springboks were trying to run the ball out of their own half, actually. Jasper Visa gets tackled, and he gets caught on the breakdown for not releasing. So a really good breakdown work for the Wallabies. And this was really far out, 40 meters out, 5 meters in, just from the in. A really hard angle for everyone. And Quade's like, all right, I'm going to take a kick. I was like, Quade's going to get this one. I was not expecting. I was just like, all right, we'll see how. Because at this point, there's still a yellow card. I was like, all right, they're trying to run the clock down a little bit. Quade slots this one. I was like, that was very impressive kick once again. 25 points to 21 after this kick. And 5 minutes later on 65th minute, Damien Valenza gets on the field for Hundred Pollard. So I'm not sure if Pollard's injured. We'll have to check the news a bit later. But I was very surprised to see Pollard coming off the field. And Valenza normally plays at 15. I don't know how he's. In fact, I was wondering if Valenza is going to miss some of the penalty kicks for the Springboks. And sure enough, that did end up costing them. So on the 68th minute, the Wallabies were penalised for not releasing around the halfway point, and the Springboks kicks the ball out for a 22-meter line out. Set the ball out for a more. Again, the Wallabies were offside. Like, the more was just really hard to deal with for the Wallabies, I guess. And the Springboks takes that penalty, kicks for 5-meter out penalty for another more. And now it's just looking like the Springboks wants to try to get themselves ahead, right? On the 70th minute, so the Springboks goes for a 5-meter line out. Right away, a penalty advantage for the Springboks, for the Wallabies for throwing the player across in the line out. The Springboks gets the ball in. They goes out wide. And there was a lot of juggling. It looks like Nkosi got the ball in the wing. He runs in. He gets Assis getting pushed out. He throws the ball back in. There was like 6 Wallaby players all juggling the ball. The ball was just like being like patted in the air. Eventually, Willie LaRue gets it. He gets in the goal like Assis putting the ball down. His foot gets slided out. No try. But there was still penalty for throwing the player across the field. So the Springboks still gets the ball back. So the Springbok goes for another 5-meter line out. And then they gets the maul down. And then the maul was just like inching forward. Like inch by inch. They got really close. It looked like the Springboks were just determined to score this try with the maul, right? All the backs start piling in. And all the Wallaby backs are piling in to try to stop the maul. But eventually, there was just too much from the Springboks. Gets over in. Malcolm Marx gets second try. 71st minute. And then this was an easy kick 15 meters in from the sideline, so not really that big an angle. And I was like, okay, I wonder if that 100 Pollard getting subbed off is going to cost the Springboks. Sure enough, he misses the kick. So Springboks could have been 3 points ahead. Now only 1 point ahead, 26-25. And then for the next about 5 minutes, the Wallabies were just basically on the attack. Eventually, Hooper, like I said, finds a little break. Again, he runs down the sideline, had 2 players outside of him with Hodge and one other person. I think might be Ikitau on the wing. Hooper throws a pass, and Valemsa comes around, smashes Hodge on the chest, and Hodge knocks on the board. I was like, oh no! And this leads to a scrum. 76 minute on the clock. There was a big scrum, and there was a huge pressure. And it looked like, I didn't hear Tongan Thor is falling apart. It looked like it was going to be a full-on penalty because the South Africans were just going forward. But Malcolm Marx, as they were going forward, popped his head out. And the referee goes, nah, you popped your head out. The more stats stood up, repack. So second time they packed the scrum, no, not nearly as dominant. So the ball comes out, no penalties for the Springboks. The Springboks played a couple phases, eventually kicks the ball down the field. Okay, and at this point, it's about 78th minute. Hodge gets the ball in his own half, like I said. All the fans are going, ooh, and Hodge looked like he wanted to go for drop goal. He was just looking like he doesn't know what he wants to do. He doesn't know what he wants to do. He wants to run the ball. He wants to kick it, but he just went, screw it. I'll kick it. Puts up a high ball. Went from the halfway point in a bit of an angle. Landed it just inside the Wallabies, the South African 10-meter line. Inside the South African half, 10 meters in. The 40-meter line, 10 meters in. So one of the Wallabies were chasing, knocked on. Wallabies knocked on. I thought if the Springboks knocked on, maybe we have a chance for scrum. Wallabies knocked on. I was like, oh, this is game over. And this was 40 meters out, right from the sideline. And I was like, this has to be the biggest scrum for Tongan Thor to win to get this tight head. And sure enough, the Wallaby, I was like, come on, just tighten up the scrum and just give one chance, one shot, Tongan Thor. I know you could do it. And it doesn't. The Tongan Thor skewers the Springbok scrum, turn it into a pretzel. The ball pops out of sight. What's his name? Jasper Visa jumps on the ball. Nick White is right there. Seals, goes over for the jackal. And then the Springboks tries to get him off, but couldn't. Penalty, full-on penalty for the Wallabies. And like I said, there was a bit of a discussion talking about who's going to take the kick. And Quaid is just like, nah, I'll do it. I'm confident. Lots of booing, lots of whistling. All the Springbok fans were singing. Quaid pops this ball beautifully through the middle. History has been made. Give him his citizenship. He's Australian. Give him his Australian citizenship, Australia. Come on. Come on. He deserved it. He deserved his citizenship after that. Come on. He's one of ours. He's one of ours. Just give it to him. Oh, what a historical win for the Wallabies. This has to be the first time the Springboks lost a big match with a full lineup. Oh, I guess they lost one to the Lions, but this will be the first match the Springboks lost where they would lose points on their Rugby World Rankings. So the Springboks would lose because Wallabies rank 8th. Wallabies is 10 points behind the Springboks. So the Springboks will probably lose 5 points after this. They will drop from the first. I think the All Blacks will be the number 1 after this game. We'll have to see how the world rankings moved after this. But this will be a huge loss in points for the Springboks in the world rankings. But yeah, I'm going to go out for a run because I am pumped with adrenaline. It's 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock, but I am going for a run. Thank you for watching this, guys. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you guys for the news next week. Cheers.